everybody get in here, hit the like. I'm only going to do an hour, and then I'm going to take a break for the debate, and then I'm going to do a post-debate analysis the same way I did last time, only, I guess, happier and having more fun, hopefully. Although we had a great time, I'm just saying. So hit the like, share the show. Be on in just a moment. Make sure we're now live on Instagram. Excellent. Okay, starting there. Excellent. And give me one more second, and I will be up. I'm going to jump in a moment early.
Bob Barton.
All right, let's jump in there. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. Good to see you. I just came over from doing mic's on. Everything's good. Hit the like, share the show. This is Hal Sparks Megaworldwide, the greatest live stream in existence. And congratulations to you for being here. I'm just so proud of you for making it. Also, a couple of performance notes. I'm going to do about an hour. Then I'm going to drop off. Then I'm going to watch the debate like everybody else. I'm going to eat and watch and live sheet. And then afterwards, I'm going to come back on and I'm going to do a full breakdown like I did last time, but the whole thing. So I'll let everybody watch a good portion of the kind of post-debate chit-chat, and then I will do the whole thing from the top. That way, the last thing you want, or the second to last thing, obviously the last thing you're going to want is an urn, I think. You don't even want it. You don't even need it. You're already gone. The last thing you're going to want is for me to get the greatest live stream of all time, by the way, to get a copyright strike by live streaming the ABC debate right as it's happening and have one of their keyboard warriors shut down my channel with some bullshit. I know that's going to happen to some folks. It ain't going to happen to me. So, and we get to take our time because, again, watching it go as it goes, one thing, and then I will just stay on. And by the way, if it gets to be too long because it's a 90-minute debate, sans commercials, we're talking about, 75 minutes maybe? Something like that, breaks, intros, questions, whatever. Anything we can fast forward through, we will. Doing that will take some time, obviously. So just to be aware. And then if you want to watch it another time, you can. It'll be there for you. See what I'm saying? All right. Yeah. Yes, there's a lot of anticipation. Okay, so let's see what. Here's what I want. Yeah, throw me some emotes. Give me a thumbs up. Don't be afraid to to make some raucous internet noise. I insist. Come on now. We're gonna get to a point where the online debater crowd is gonna have to. They're gonna have to deal with me at some point. They're gonna have to start inviting me in on these stupid conversations. And the only way we're going to get there is if I get to at least 100K of something. Obviously it's all star fucking nonsense. And while if I'm walking around with a bunch of YouTubers in public, I'm going to be the one that everybody goes, hey, it's Mr. Davenport. Oh, it's Michael. Oh, it's Al Sparks. And they get mad about it. But insofar as the internet and what the rules are there, I respect the fact that they've got a following and I got to catch up. So hit the like, share the show, etc., etc. Also, hi trolls. Hello. Hi trolls. And now, debate prep. What, if anything, are each of these people doing to prepare themselves for the craziness? Chat room, by the way, hi, there you are. Welcome, chat room. I love you. You're wonderful. And thank you for being here. You'll notice I didn't say I want to thank you and I want to say I love you. I just go ahead and fucking do it because that's how we roll at Hal Sparks Megaworldwide. We're Hal Sparks. Hal Sparks is like no one else can Hal Sparks. Now, hi, hello, chat people. Let's. I want to see the advice that Jesse Waters and his personal attorney. Man, they must be just fucking dragging the bottom of the river for guests right now. This is Jesse Waters' personal attorney, apparently. On Fox News, this is debate prep expert shares insights into Trump-Harris preparation, or lack thereof, I guess. Here we go.
Barnett's a lawyer who helped 10 campaigns with debate prep. And full disclosure, he's my lawyer. So if you have a problem with Jesse Waters, you call Bob.
But we have to tell the viewers the truth. I do have an exemption.
No. As his lawyer, you are not obligated to tell the truth, and your client certainly isn't.
From that lawyer-client privilege to bring claims against you by your mother.
Okay. I did not see the fine print there, so we're going to have to review that contract, Bob.
Footnote 3.
So
this is supposed to be a cute exchange, but it's like JD Vance levels of creepy. This does not help your case, evil Ross from Friends.
Who prepared
Stretch Ben Shapiro?
Hillary for debating Donald Trump. How did you prepare her, and how should Kamala prepare for debating Trump?
Well, I think what Kamala has to do is, first and foremost, continue the process of introducing herself to the American people. In the new poll, 25% of the American people don't feel they know enough about her. That's both a challenge and an opportunity. She needs to take it an opportunity. Second, I think she has to avoid taking the bait, because there's going to be a lot of bait, and you don't want to take any of it.
What would be the bait? You mean like Trump says her running mate's a couch fucker, or says that he that the Epstein lists are coming out. Why won't he share all of them right away? He could have while he was president, and yet he didn't. You mean if Trump says stuff like that to her? Oh, wait, backwards, sorry.
You want to do what she did in the Dana Bash interview, same old playbook, or next question, or who does that, or however you want to kiss it off or pivot it. I think she's got to do that.
So just kind of...
Hold on, somebody just said I earned their sub doing something yesterday. What was it? Love you too. I engaged yesterday. Today you earned my sub. Oh, thank you. I'll take that kind of engagement any day, and I think it shows taste and breeding on your part when you subscribe. I'm just saying, you're a quality human. All right.
Casually and organically dismiss Trump and say this is what you're going to get. This is the same old guy. He's never going to change.
No, only when he does the craziness and the attacks and the calling her dumb.
So the whole time.
And, bringing up Willie, that stuff.
Okay.
No. On serious policy discussions, she should answer. When he goes after, if I were coaching, okay? If he goes after on the border, I would say 3 things. First, remember those kids in cages and family separation? Remember how we loved that? Second, we're going to build a wall and Mexico's going to pay for it. What happened to that? And third, your most conservative colleagues in the Senate came up with a bipartisan solution. You told them not to vote for it because you wanted the issue not.
I think this, Jesse, I've gone from thinking this guy talks to your mom to thinking they're sleeping together. I'm just saying.
The solution. End of sentence.
Okay. What about Donald Trump? What does he need to do to win?
Yeah, no, that's a fair question. I think he's got to do, and I'm not sure he can.
Whatever he does, don't try to grab her by the pussy. She's got Secret Service detail, and she's no slouch herself. She'll probably put him in a headlock, and we know he's going to shit himself during the debate anyways. We just don't want him to do it unconscious on the floor while his orange makeup runs all over the linoleum.
But you asked me a fair question. I'll give you a fair answer. He needs to try to appear presidential. We said that before. The inaugural, we said it before. It never happens. Most recently, after the E. Jean Carroll appeal, when he spent 45 minutes attacking the women and attacking his lawyers.
Well, he was pretty presidential when he debated Joe Biden, and look what happened to Joe Biden.
Well, if you look at the debate with Joe Biden, and we know what happened. I mean, I'm not going to go into that and defend that.
I won't put you through that, Bob.
But what he did was, and it was wise, he had about 10 answers to the 10 topics that you knew would come up. And no matter what the question was, he gave that answer to that topic, not.
Yeah, he kind of didn't. He knee-jerk went back to the answers he gives all the fucking time. Now, the question is, has anybody that's a movable vote, have they not watched, some interview with him? Because he's been fucking everywhere. He will show up at the opening of an envelope, as the saying goes. He's been doing to compensate for the fact that they don't think Kamala's been doing enough interviews. Trump has been doing all of them, totally non-discriminating. It's just anywhere there's a fucking microphone, he will just blather in front of it. And I gotta say, I don't think it's helping. But the problem with this strategy is, he's already said this shit. They've already heard it. And if he just tries to dovetail it towards his own answer, it'll just sound like political speak, which is what he's supposedly running against.
To that question, which brings up, by the way, the role of the moderators. And I know you and I disagree on this.
Is ABC going to give Donald Trump a fair shake?
Oh, of course so. Of course so. They're being watched by you guys. And the next day,
we won't let them get away with it.
But
also, can I just say for the record, Jesse Waters, when his mom calls or when somebody like this is on, when he's if he doesn't have 3 other people backing him up on the 5 against Jessica Tarloff, Jesse Waters is a fucking pussy, to use the old parlance. He's such a wuss. Like, he backs down and tries to do dodgy, chummy bullshit behavior, right? He's such a wuss.
It's my view that the moderators, I think they should not be a third candidate, accept that. But I also think that they should fact check. Let's assume I'm wrong on that. They should at least follow up. They're journalists. If either side, Harris or Trump, avoids, I think you have a duty as a journalist to follow up.
Well, if they do that and Trump just hammers the media, the American people love watching the media get punched in the face.
No, only the people.
Says a guy who makes his living on one of the top 3 media sites in the world and on the #1 news channel in the world, arguably. That's in English anyways. Is Fox really in English? All right.
People who are Trump's base.
That's true.
And remember, Carville used to say the wisdom.
I say not how you can play with an alligator's balls, but you get the wrong end of that snout, you'll end up with a tail in your horseshoe. I've been told that I'm James Carville.
Of Carville, he used to say.
I used to say, if you got 4 eggs and you give Johnny 3 eggs, it's somebody else's omelet now. That's what they would try to tell everybody.
20,000 people in each of 6 states will decide this election. That's the audience for this debate, not the people who love to pound the media.
All right. Well, Carville says he may do Jesse Waters primetime tomorrow night for debate preview. We'll see if he's a.
I wanted to come down there because I like seeing, I like eating anchovies because that's like eating an eyebrow. And every time I stare at your face, I think it's like a pizza made entirely out of anchovies with on steroids.
Man of his word.
I hope he does it.
Well, so do I.
I hope he does.
All right, Bob.
Yeah, I don't care. So that's legit advice from from Jesse Waters' lawyer. Now let's jump over, if we can, for a moment. By the way, I'm going to do an hour, and then I'm going to bug out, and we're going to watch the debate, and then I'm going to come back on. And I think Boston Brian might be joining me for the recap. I said, yeah. He asked me, and I said yes. So hopefully we'll work that all out after the debate's over. Probably let everybody watch like Rachel and them for about a half hour afterwards, and then I'll pop back on and we'll go through it. So this is here we go. This is now debate prediction. Will Kamala and ABC News try to trap Trump? So asks the dipshits over at Glenn Beck's show. This is Stu, as in stew meat, and he and Glenn, I suppose, are just going to talk about their debate prediction about how ABC is going to be unfair to Trump by fact-checking him or some shit.
Tonight.
Yes, it is.
And it is going to be an interesting one. I don't think it can live up to the standards of the last one. I just don't think it can get to that level.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be nice?
I think so. Well,
my gosh,
as long as it doesn't happen in
so
the opposite
fantastic.
direction, yes.
Yes,
That would be-
yes.
It seems like a concern on Stu's part that it is now Donald Trump's shot standing in the face of the Havana syndrome ray.
Mm-hmm. But there is a chance that either one of them.
All right. Is this a camera issue, or is Glenn Beck's hyper oxygenated? Because his face, his skin, he's got this kind of wind blown, bug eyed, like his eyes look red. It's not a healthy look.
Could just step on a landmine.
It's very possible, and I'm. Are you concerned? What's your concern level? 1 to 10, Glenn Beck concern level going into tonight.
Because it's American politics and the stakes are so high. 1 to 10, 100.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like morning zoo radio chit chat shit, hardly becoming of an entire network set on being, I guess, political futurists.
I'm kind of there. I don't know if we're there for the same reasons. Because, I mean, the stakes are super high.
Yeah.
So obviously you're concerned.
Yeah,
but
that's 99% of it.
right. Your concern is not Kamala Harris is an amazing debater.
No.
Right.
No, it's just that, she's going to be doing everything she can just to get under his skin. Mm-hmm. That is literally.
And he has the thinnest skin in the world.
The plan is to get under his skin, make him angry so he says something.
Yep.
And,
And he's stupid enough to fall for it. And that's what you're worried about. You're worried about that the guy you plan on voting for is so unhinged that an insult can wreck his debate. That's what you're worried about. Why would you vote for someone that worries you that way? Why would that person ever register as a human being of quality enough to run a country you allegedly love? Just a thought. That's off the top of my fucking head.
Just hope that he is as good as he was on the last debate.
He sucked in the last debate, dummy. It wasn't about being good. It was about how terrible Biden looked. Trump didn't do anything well. He skated by.
Yes. And as far as knowing.
And by the way, also Stu knows this. Look, you could tell. I don't know where the fuck Glenn is getting this, but Stu is obviously aware that Trump was not good in the last debate at all.
What the situation is and knowing what's going on.
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah,
it is.
Yes, here's the situation. You're running for president. There's going to be a debate. There are several topics, some of which you want to talk about, others you don't. They're going to bring them up. You don't get to be in control of the questions, like every fucking debate in the history of ever. And partly what people are judging you on is how you respond in the moment and how quickly you can draw up details and make decisions or present your opinions quickly based on a question and make it understandable to the voters that aren't already on your team. That's how debates always work. There's no unknowns in any of this shit. Whether the fucking moderators love you or hate you has zero impact on how well you do in the debate. If you think they're just going to fact check you all the time, why the fuck are you worried about accidentally lying? Here's a good idea. Don't be full of shit.
So a lot of it is about awareness in that moment. And that is probably...
It is. So I'm hoping that Donald Trump is practicing some mindfulness, Stu.
what Trump is best at in these debates.
Yes.
Like, if you think back to the, you'd be in jail, that moment with Hillary Clinton. Like, that was him just picking apart the conversation in the moment. He's very...
Right. He tried that again with Biden said we beat Big Pharma. He meant beat Medicare, and he said you beat it to death, which meant nothing. Also, the you'd be in jail never happened. So in retrospect, it was bullshit. It's one of the problems that people have with him. That moment, where he just felt like, because you'd be in jail about her, is exactly why a lot of supporters of his are like, he was full of shit. He's just like any other politician. He made it up because he never made that happen. He promised he'd throw her in jail. We all said lock her up. He said 100% a bunch of times while we were yelling lock her up. He chanted it a couple of times. But then when he gets in there...
good at that. He's obviously not as skilled at going after policy details. That's not what...
Right. Which, again, Stu, fuck are you talking about? That's a reasonable criticism and support point for somebody who wanted to be president of the United States. He's obviously not good with policy, but he's good on the fly saying insulting shit that goes nowhere. Well, then why don't you just vote for an open mic comic, you fucking asshole?
What his game is.
I bet it will be tonight. I bet it will be tonight.
I mean,
Okay, is Glenn high? What do you think, guys? Is Glenn high? What do you think it is? Painkillers or weed or both? I don't think it's weed. Although his eyes are glazed, so it's hard to tell. What, liquor and painkillers? I'm gonna go. That's what I'm going with. Okay, I'm going with gin and oxy something or other. That's what I'm going with. That I think is just judging from when Glenn gets in this kind of a mood. That's what I'm going with. That's my theory. I'm sticking to it. Colleen, thank you for the super chat. Each gets a pad and pen for notes. He's going to grift off his notes and suit. Oh, maybe so. That's possible. Got my popcorn ready. Excellent. How many bags do you think you need for tonight? Oh, it's going to be a 3 popcorn night. It's going to be get a big bowl and just go for it.
Your plan. What is your?
Thank you, Jenny Faye Muppet.
Plan. What's your plan? Let's talk about details. What's your plan?
Right. Asking about them constantly. Like him trying to recite parts of healthcare laws is not a good approach for Donald Trump.
It's not going to be good for her either.
No.
Yeah, it is. She's a prosecutor, dumb fuck. She's dealt with conveying evidence to strangers she has to convince in a life and death situation. Yeah, she is. She's really good at that shit. As a matter of fact, that's what the prep is. Trump's had to have policy reminder sessions. Policy time, they call it.
And she is the reverse of Trump. She's much worse in the moment. She's much worse realizing what's going on. Mm-hmm. The only thing she's going to try to do, I think, in this debate is to make Donald Trump, lure him into either some sort of quote-unquote sexist, quote-unquote racist moment. That he should.
Thanks, Stu. Thanks. Yeah, not a real sexist or racist moment, but a quote-unquote one. Yeah, he won't really say something sexist or racist, but it'll kind of sound like that because he takes the bait and he can't stop himself from saying stuff that's sexist and racist on the margins. And what Stu is It's almost like, you know how some people are like, you build up expectations before a debate or after debate, you know, as you're leading up to a debate, whether they'll do good or you'll do terrible or you'll do great and they'll do terrible, or, you know, playing with those. Stu is doing this with his own fucking job, because Stu is expecting, as are a lot of Trump fans and Trump fluffers in the right-wing media, they're expecting they're going to have to do some racist or sexist cleanup. That he's going to say black jobs, you know, the ones poor people do, you know. Now, poor whites do the black jobs too. Like, he'll say something along those lines, and this asshole's already looking down the road to, how the fuck am I going to clean up a mess? I don't even know what it's going to be yet, and it's going to, I just know it. I just know it's got, like, that's what he's talking about. That's what it is. That's what he's worried about. Yeah, there's the Trump fluffers, him, Glenn, Tim Pool, Benny Johnson, they're all Trump fluffers. Yeah. And then, all right, here we go.
She can exploit. I mean, you go back to that Mike Pence debate where she said, "Excuse me, Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking." And it's like, okay, we know you're speaking.
Look at this. Yeah, Glenn's drunk. Okay, I was half joking about alcohol and painkillers. Now I'm convinced. Look at this motherfucker. Like and it seems like he's like coke drinking, right? Which is not a good sign. Like, you're expecting this to go fucking sideways, I guess. Oh, shut up, woman, for saying I'll interrupt you if I want to, woman. That's yes, because Glenn, you're so fucking tough. Jesus Christ. You look like a marshmallow waiting for the stick.
The problem is the words that are coming out of your mouth, right? Like, it's not that you're speaking. If you were saying true things, you wouldn't need to be interrupted.
Right. But
you're lying constantly. Mm-hmm. But that is the type of moment that they're going to try to get out of this. And
yeah, except the mics are only on if you're speaking. It's not going to come up. You know, the idea is that you know, that like Trump world is breathing a sigh of relief because she won't get that dunk on him tonight, because it won't matter. And by the way, he might talk while her mic is on. You might be able to hear him yammering, right? Just in the studio, but they're going to isolate it. And she's going to need to know during the break, if from her people, that somebody needs to walk up to her and go, okay, when he's talking, we can kind of hear him. Or when he's talking, they have a noise gate on your mic, so no one hears anything. So if you say anything to him, we're not going to be able to tell. That'll be super important after the first break for somebody to let her know if it matters even at that point. But if that's an issue, if he's talking and he's like the whole time, and you can actually hear it, there may be a thing of like, you sure you don't want to turn on his mic and we can all just hear whatever he's blathering about, right? That kind of shit. Yeah.
To be clear, the media is going to try to magnify that into something that it's not.
Oh, ABC.
Magnify what? All right, hold on. Back the fuck up. Sorry.
Words that are coming out of your mouth, right? Like, it's not that you're speaking. If you were saying true things, you wouldn't need to be interrupted.
Right. But
you're lying constantly. Mm-hmm. But that is the type of moment that they're going to try to get out of this. And to be clear, the media is going to try to magnify that into something that it's not.
Oh, ABC.
Okay, so the idea is from Stu is that at some point Kamala Harris is going to get a zinger or something on Donald Trump, and what the media, whoever the fuck that is going to do, and how they're going to respond to it, is by blowing it all out of proportion and making poor little Donald Trump, Mr. Grab him by the pussy, look sexist, or Mr. I don't want black people renting in my buildings, and I certainly don't want them touching my money. I want the guys with the little hats, yet making that poor fellow look like a racist. Or a bigot.
He is so bad. So bad. Yeah. Did you see the numbers on ABC?
Unbelievable.
I'm trying to let me see if I can find it real quick. So ABC is absolutely the most biased out of all of them. They are so much more worse. Is that right? More worse. They're worse.
He's hammered.
Than NBC. And that's saying something.
Really?
Yeah. According to a watchdog group.
Yeah, whoever. Just look. Take it from, it's a watchdog group. That's all you need to know. According to a watchdog group, not the watchdog group, obviously, one of several watchdog groups. According to them, ABC is worse than MSNBC. What's the standard for that watchdog group? I have no idea. There is no. I guess you have to. Everybody who's involved in that organization has to have a watch and a dog.
The Media Research Center, I think it was.
Yeah, I think it was. They watch
the Hammer Research Center. What?
Watch CBS. They tracked CBS, ABC, and NBC.
Hold on. Back the fuck up. The what?
A watchdog group.
The Media Research Center, I think it was.
Yeah, I think it was.
The Media Research Center, I think is what he said.
They watched CBS. They tracked CBS, ABC, and NBC. CBS was actually the most fair and balanced out of the three. I think it had a score in the 70s. And what they scored was, is it balanced? Is there the other side ever being shown? Is the anchor ever giving the benefit of the doubt? Are they saying something positive? Or is it just all negative? On Kamala Harris, it was 100% positive coverage. 100%.
It wasn't 110% positive.
No, you're right. It could have been worse.
It could have been. Well, no, actually.
Also, no, it wasn't. I guarantee somebody on ABC ran the whole story about she should be doing interviews. She hasn't been doing interviews. That part alone. She doesn't have her policy positions out on a thing yet. Shit about they obviously covered stuff about the election. This is nonsense. Bullshit. Just bullshit.
It can't be. That is unbelievable.
So here,
right. Yeah, I agree, Stu. That is unbelievable. You know why? Because it's not believable.
Here it is. No, actually, NBC was best. 71% with NBC.
Jesus Christ. It's so sad when you see somebody. I feel like I'm watching The Rose.
71% positive is the best.
Positive, yeah.
The best number.
The best number is 100%.
No, but I'm saying.
Oh yeah, for
fairness. Yeah, the best one was 71% positive.
71%. Then 94% for CBS. ABC 100%.
And what's the time period on this? They didn't say one negative thing.
Yeah, since she became the candidate.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
that's over a month. What's that,
I know.
50 days now.
Yeah, 100%. Now Trump's negative coverage, 77% on CBS.
Sorry, real quick, Glenn. Can we just throw in positive things like positive coverage of Trump on the Blaze as a network? What do you think? What do you think? You think it actually lowers the scale on what qualifies under ABC rules?
Yes, 86% on ABC.
Oh my God, these are terrible.
But
also, by the way, it's not, for the record, it is not negative to bring up the fact that he is a 34-time convicted felon. That is not negative coverage. That is just the news. If there's another filing about it, that's not negative coverage either. That does not count as a negative. It does in, I'm sure, how they're doing this, but it shouldn't. It's simply the news. That doesn't have a bias. But just by bringing up the fact that he's a pussy-grabbing scumbag, apparently playing a clip of Donald Trump saying she would not be the chosen one for me to sexually assault. That by playing that clip, that's considered negative coverage. When it isn't, it is simply showing him being a fucking pig. You can't say that if ABC plays that, they put another negative notch. All they're doing is report. That is, they'd have to say something about it. They'd have to come back vomiting or going, fuck that dude, or, cover it like I do to get a solid, because I earn my negative check marks next to these assholes. You know, I don't just let it slide. I don't put it up there and go, hey, it speaks for itself.
But nobody even came close.
I mean, think about that.
100%.
You have to think about it. Are they this incompetent? How have they ever lost an election? With this environment, how do you lose elections?
Also, real quick, Stu, it might not be that it's the environment. It might be the fact that Trump, by comparison, is that big of a fucking awful, like summed up in total as a human being and as a political force, is such a scumbag that's what creates, quote unquote, the environment that we're in. It didn't exist before him. You understand? This has nothing to do with coverage of Harris or positive stuff about Harris at all. And Trump, under these guys, at its root, the media's in the tank for Kamala Harris. But the biggest piece of news you can take away from this clip is that according to Stu and to Glenn Beck, Donald Trump is not at all responsible for any of the negative coverage he gets. Consider that, if you will. These assholes think that Donald Trump is not responsible for any of his negative coverage, that he is completely innocent, and that means that Stu and Glenn both believe that Donald Trump should be able to grab their mothers, wives, and daughters by the pussy, and because when you're a star, they let you do it. That he should be able to take money from any foreign company through a stack of LLCs, even if it's directly tied to the Russian, to the Kremlin, or the GRU or the CCP. He should be allowed to do that. They are signing off on every shitty thing he does by saying, he has done nothing wrong. That's why they could actually sell this idea that it's somehow an affront to him that he's getting this negative coverage.
Well, I don't know if it's ever been this bad.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Brandy, thank you so much.
It's just lies. They've always gotten stories wrong.
Brandy, thank you for the Venmo. That was very sweet. Really appreciate it.
Wrong. Mm-hmm. And they're like, well, yeah, that's not the way you frame that story. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's the way it used to be. And then some lies. Now it is nonstop. If I hear that very fine people thing more time.
How many times can they do this?
Oh my gosh. And they just keep getting away with it.
Did you see the one that...
Hey, Glenn, wait. Tell you what, buddy. I'll not bring that one up because I don't bring it up very often, even though I think you're using your head to block the door for him. But we'll let that slide. How about him just saying that if he was going to rape somebody, it wouldn't be her? How about that? Why is that okay with you? Why do you get, I just start kissing. I don't even, I don't even ask. I can't even stop myself. And you can grab them by the pussy, do whatever you want, because when you're a star, they want you to do it. And if I was going to sexually assault someone, she would not be the chosen one. What about that? How about that? Like, dude, it's kind of like, it's like when these assholes go, it is too soon after this school shooting to politicize what happened. Well, fuck you, dude. I'm politicizing 19 school shootings ago. How about that? I'm not talking about the one that just happened. Just pretend we're talking about the one that happened a year and a half ago. You guys didn't give a fuck about then, or the next one, or the next one. Just pick a random one. What's the timeline? 2 years? 5 years? How about go all the way back to Columbine, you dumb motherfucker? How about that? How about that? Just go back to Columbine and accuse me of politicizing that one. That not enough time has passed. It's the same thing. I don't need to lock in on the fact that he said there were very fine people on both sides of the marchers at Charlotte and the people who were counter protesting. That there were very fine people. Like there were people trying to save the Robert E. Lee statue from the fucking Daughters of the Confederacy. And they were down there fanning themselves going, it's our heritage, which is exactly what he's fucking talking about a statue that's effectively a chess piece that like defenders of the Confederacy put like after the Civil War put up as a like chess piece. Like we may have lost the chess game, but I'm putting this fucking rook back on the fucking board. Kiss my ass.
They tried on JD Vance,
No.
where they're like, JD Vance, quote, shootings are just a fact of
Oh
life.
my gosh!
Are you kidding me?
That's not.
It's not.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what he said. That's what he meant. In a society with a bunch of guns, you just got, it's the same thing. It lines right up with Trump going, you just got to get over it. You just got to get over it.
Not what he did, not what he said.
In context, he made a big deal about how horrible this was.
Yep.
Yes, he made a big deal about how horrible it was and then went, but we're not going to do anything about it. And he's running for a job where what you're going to do about it matters. If he was just a rando fuckhead on the Blaze, you could write it off. But he wants to be the vice president and be like a heartbeat away from the presidency and advise the president, be the last person in the room when the president's making decisions about what to do about school shootings.
What a tragedy this shooting was. And he said, unfortunately, and I don't like this, shootings have become part of life.
Yeah, a fact of life.
And we've got to stop it.
But if you take all the context out and just say fact of life, it looks like...
Whoa. Hang on, Sloopy. Give me 1 second. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see if I can find the... This is the video. Yeah, here we go. Hold on. Fuck you. Get out of here. Go away. Go away. Here you go.
What happened in Georgia is just an awful tragedy. And yes, after holding these folks up in prayer and giving them our sympathies, because that's what people deserve in a time of tragedy, then we have to think about how to make this less common. What is going to solve this problem, and I really do believe this, is look, I don't like this. I don't like to admit this. I don't like that this is a fact of life. But if you are a psycho and you want to make headlines, you realize that our schools are soft targets. And we have got to bolster security at our schools so that a person who walks through the front door...
Yeah, so shootings are a fact of life, and the answer is bolstering security at schools. Not stopping psychos from getting guns.
We've got to bolster security so that if a psycho wants to walk through the front door and kill a bunch of children, they're not able to. And again, as a parent, do I want...
What, you want him to have to crawl through a fucking window?
My kids' school to have additional security? No, of course I don't. I don't want my kids to go to school in a place where they feel like you've got to have additional security, but that is increasingly the reality that we live in.
Right, asshole. So why is it increasingly the reality that we live in? Because people like him don't want to do shit about guns. Again, most common sense gun regulations would handle this. Red flag laws. That guy who shot up the one in Georgia, they should have been able to take away the guns in the household. They'd already had a visit from the police about the fact that he was making threats. This is just an abdication of control. And by the way, by saying our schools need to beef up security, you're running for federal office, motherfucker. What you're saying then is nothing I can do as vice president or that the president could do about this at all. This is all about local communities. You guys got to hire guards or put, cameras up or some shit. You got to lock these places down. Right? And it goes to that whole point of like, what whenever they talk to a Republican, they're always like, what do we need more in school? What do we need to fix in schools? We need more parental involvement. Okay, that may or may not be true, but can you legislate it? Can you do anything about it? If you're an officer, you're going to write a law that says if you don't help your kid with their homework, you're going to fucking jail, or you get a tax break if you do help them with it, or right? Any of that shit, like the idea is, we're not going to do anything. We're just not going to fucking do anything. Well, then why are you even talking about it? Parental involvement, if you can't make it happen, is not an answer. It's like if you're like running to head the CDC and they're like, what's your solution for Ebola? I just, eventually an asteroid, right? I guess an asteroid hitting us would take care of it, cook it off. Useless.
Like you're just this jerk who wants people to die and doesn't try to hide. Hey, whatever.
Hey, those kids were killed. It's a fact of life. You know what I mean?
Let's build all schools near a mountain so they have high ground for all the assassins. It's like, no, that's not what he said.
Almost that.
It's closer to what he said than what you guys said.
Yeah, and it's like they all know what they're doing. This is the Donald Trump, we're going to have a bloodbath, ... in the economy.
Yeah.
But they just say bloodbath. I mean,
No. He didn't say bloodbath ... in the economy. You added that, you dumb motherfucker. He was saying there's going to be a bloodbath because of immigration that will basically the murders and death from all these immigrants coming across the border will be way worse than, worrying about selling fucking Chinese cars sold in the United States. That's what he fucking meant.
like this is stuff that is,
right.
They all know what they're doing.
Oh, by the way, remember what I said about the copium that he was basically doing? Like he's looking down the barrel of cleanup they're going to have to do. They're both aware that at some point tonight it is very possible that Donald Trump will say something eminently shitty that will eat up a huge chunk of the news cycle. Because he can't stop himself. Now, instead of saying to themselves, hey, you know what? Maybe I'm wrong to even support or get into a political fight supporting someone who can't control themselves, so much so that I have to worry about doing cleanup for them as a fucking stranger for 2 weeks. Right? Maybe, just maybe, you're throwing your support behind somebody who's so fucking dangerous and stupid that it says less about that person than it does about you, Stu. Glenn, maybe, just fucking maybe, you shouldn't be backing Trump. I don't care if you're voting for Harris at this point, and you can shit all over Democrats, but if you're willing to fucking pelican Trump's balls where he goes, or serve as his own personal diaper with your mouth on his butthole, then for fuck's sake, you cannot lay onto the media that everybody else is attacking him because you will never stop supporting him, which is worse because he would sexually assault your daughter or your wife or your mom or your girlfriend or a lady friend of yours or your brother's wife if he thought she was even marginally fucking attractive. And you support that motherfucker.
Doing here. This is not like mistakes. It's not like, oh, this was taken out of context. They are intentionally trying to sink his campaign because they hate him. And I don't know this.
Stu, you are intentionally trying to excuse his inexcusable behavior because you want him to win. Or it's your job. You're being paid to say it. Because I don't know that if you cornered him and got a couple of drinks in him, if you really said, you think Trump's a good guy? Do you think you'd let him, coach your daughter's soccer team? You think you'd let him do that? There's no fucking way.
That they love Kamala Harris, honestly. She's just the other thing.
Well, that quote really originated with the Associated Press. And I don't know if you saw this, but the Babylon Bee has put a list together of all the things that the AP has said in the past, and they still stand by it. Mm-hmm. For instance, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, according to the AP, the only thing we have ... is fear itself.
Okay, these are just joke lines. He's looking at Stu hoping that these are funny. Now, why is Glenn going through a list of like half-assed jokes that maybe the Babylon Bee is making wrote a joke column. He's just stealing jokes, which is entirely possible, but which is even lamer. But imagine tonight, the stakes are as high as you've said they are. According to Glenn Beck and Stu, especially Glenn, though, this is end of the world shit. Like, he's selling prepper level stuff all the fucking time. He's at least presenting to his audience that he believes that this is it's certainly an America-ending event, if not a world-ending event, this election, right? This is what he's been portraying. And if that were true, if you believe that, would you just be the night of the debate, just kind of going, I stole these jokes off a website, I'll just say them to fill some time?
So,
wow. I don't.
Neil Armstrong, that's one small ... man. So
it was a height. That was a height speech.
Wayne Gretzky.
All right, yeah. Again, he's just stealing shit from other people. And again, if you believed, it's so lame, it's fucking cringe. But if you believed anything that he was saying, that you really thought that the election was as meaningful and as dangerous and as important as allegedly they believe, wouldn't you? When you give a little more effort. Now, speaking of low effort, ladies and gentlemen, Melania Trump, or at least her AI equivalent, has come out to make a statement about Donald's assassination attempt in I guess, TikTok, which is how you deal with the attempted assassination of a loved one. You make a vertical video that's 34 seconds long that more than likely is AI generated. Let's see.
The attempt to end my husband's life was a horrible, distressing experience. Now, the silence around it feels heavy.
I have not heard Trump mention the shooter's name once. Think of how many times they name dropped or went after the guy who attacked Paul Pelosi. Right? And Trump won't even say his fucking name. Like, he'll attack Gold Star families, but he won't bring up the name, like Thomas Crook's family.
I can't help but wonder, why didn't law enforcement officials arrest the shooter before the speech?
Because he hadn't committed a crime yet? I mean, honestly, he was walking around outside the perimeter up to that point, up until he climbed up and had the gun and was actually, and they were looking for it to do it. They didn't find him, but, before he got on the roof and took the shot, he was just walking around. I mean, what are they supposed to arrest him on, the charge of skulking?
There is definitely more to this story.
Yeah, I think a lot of us are thinking ketchup packets. I don't know. At a certain point, this all seems oddly bullshittish. And I got to say, of all the fake nonsense that we've seen around this video seems particularly AI gen bullshit. Like, I mean, I believe she actually did this too. I'm fucking around. But like, you want to talk about a scandal around this? How about the low effort she's putting in? They didn't do an interview together afterwards. Hold on. He's shot and she doesn't fucking do a sit down. The couple, both of them holding hands after this happened, an emotional connection between, wife and husband. Like, can you imagine any other politician this happens to them, and what does the wife do? I mean, you could count down to this weekend on, in CBS, a sit down interview, Del Hoyt, our main anchor person, talks to, Donald Trump and his wife about the horrible tragedy, blah, blah, that kind of shit, right? Nothing. Fucking nothing. And I got to say, why wouldn't you? Wouldn't you? When you, like, I would hope that my wife or partner would want to do a sit-down interview with me after that, right? And believe me, there was an ask. I don't know if it's fucking People magazine or somebody, but God damn it. And since Trump will do any press at all, and she barely shows up for anything, but that would be the one thing where maybe you could squeeze an interview out of her.
And we need to uncover the truth.
And it's an ad for her book. We need to uncover the truth. And here's the cover of my new book. Ha ha, it's good. Melania, apparently it's chapter 7, How I Plan to Fuck Christmas for Donald. Yeah, it's just an ad for the fucking book. That's what that is. By the way, there's nothing in the book about that shit. It had already gone to press when it happened. And again, think of it. Not only did she not do a sit-down interview with Trump together as a couple, not only did she not do that, but she did. But her one, like, what the fuck is going on video was just done as a 30-second ad for her book. 34 fucking seconds. Look at that. 34 fucking seconds. I will only say something. You want me to say something about, ask a question? I will only do that if we make an ad for a book. All right. Fucking gross. Do you know what? You know how big an asshole you have to be for your life partner to phone that shit in? All right. 2 minutes. All right. I'm going to let you guys go, and then I will see you after I think it starts at like 6 my time. So at like 7:30 it should be over. So 8 o'clock my time, I'm going to pop back on. I'll give a half hour for people to watch Maddo and all those guys talk about shit, if that's cool. And then I'll hop back on at 8, and I will start from the top and go through the whole debate. Whatever happens, by hook or by crook, we're doing the whole thing just like I did last time. So enjoy, and I will be live shitting it on Shitter and the like. And Cian, thank you for the Venmo. Sorry, is there another one? Yeah, I saw Deanne's, and I think I saw it in there. And then there was one more. Did I miss that one? No. Scrolling my watch. Sorry, there's a neighborhood alert. and I'm getting so many goddamn texts from the Harris campaign. It's hilarious. All right, love you guys. I will see you in a couple hours. Yeah, in 4 of them, something like that. So and if you're gonna, by the way, if you're watching the debate, watch out for the kidney.
The kidney has a very special place in the heart.
Dear God. All right, hit the like on the way out, everybody. I'll see you in a little bit. Enjoy the debate.